Darn. Hey there, everybody. I'm back. And we're going to continue now with Jaraci Cup 1 by going into the lower bracket here. And the first match, man, they play on Dune Ocean, which I said I was really excited to see, but the replay file is corrupted, so we're not going to be able to watch Game 1 of this series. Which incidentally also means I don't know who won, but I'm sure we'll be able to extrapolate that based on how many replays end up being in the pack. But we're going to move on to map 2 now, which is, I have the pick bands right here, so... Cowofschmau had picked Dune Ocean, then Frosty picked FrostyTeeth, then Cowofschmau picked Titan Passage. This is going to be Frosty's map. He also banned Torrent Crater, mind you. So, that seems quite wise to me, actually. Trying to avoid, you know, Galzian shenanigans on Torrent Crater, which can always be a little bit nasty. And FrostyTeeth generally a pretty good map for Coalition 2 because of how small it is. Obviously, if your units are faster, which Galzian ones tend to be, you can take advantage of bigger maps a lot better than smaller ones, so... Just in general, I think this is kind of a wise setup for him. That also makes sense for Dune Ocean 2 then. I'm really kind of sad we don't get to see that replay, but that's just how it is. Now, I was watching my other videos of like the upper bracket, and I realized the volume in game actually is really low. Like previously I had set it to minus 15 decibels, so I was like half the audio was coming from the mic. Or sorry, like the audio coming from the desktop was halved, and so I've set that back up now to like minus 10, which should be a little bit more. So, you should still be able to hear me talking just fine, but it should be a little bit louder coming from the game. And I really like that music, man. It's so good, but I do kind of agree. It sort of ruins the mood for, like, some of the matches there. So, went ahead and I'm using the in-game music right now, which probably should be a welcome change to some of you. By the way, I noticed 2 salvagers on RUs here for Cowofschmau right off the beginning, but he hasn't even gotten Sandskimmer Fabrication, so I'm not sure what he's going for here. It's not like it's not a tech rush, right? Because he would obviously already have this, but it's gonna be a lot of RUs for him. I imagine he's going for like early rails or something like that, but again, he still hasn't clicked on this, so we will have to see. He may be going for refinery mode early, but if he does that, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to get guys on RUs first. Or I could just be doing the typical Bozo thing of over-reading into things a lot and not realizing he just did that on accident. But, you know, I like to imagine people are conscious of these types of moves. It's actually going to be a production cruiser from him. AV fabrication finishing in about 20 seconds. This could get a little nasty if Cowofschmau's not ready for it. Sandskimmer fabrication coming out now, a little uncomfortably late, but we'll have to see if it works out for him. Of course, what I'm worried about is just this AAV rush on FrostyTeeth is really good. And Frosty's not really straight rushing into AAVs, but he's going to get them pretty fast. Yeah, he's going to start producing them now, and I don't think they take long to make, like 20 seconds or something like that. So we're going to see like 2-minute, 10-second AAVs or something. I really hope for Cowofschmau's sake he's going to get railgun fabrication right now. He's got, yeah, okay, good. He's got the money for it, you see. That float of 80 RUs there, this is why we generally don't stack, you know, 2 salvagers on RUs as Galzian, because we can't really use it, right? This is a very specific build that Hottest Man ever kind of pioneered in his first tournament, where he would get assault ships at like the 1 minute mark or something, like start the tech on it. And you would do that using 2 salvagers on RUs, but then one of them would transfer over to CUs after you started anyway, so... We shall see. Cowofschmau so far making LAVs, that's kind of a logical thing to do. Oh, but Frosty waiting until 3 AVs are out before he moves out. See, you could already have one of them like right there. And then you just kind of be kicking the trash out of these Sandskimmers right here, and then they'd have to back away. I think it's better if you stream them out here, because like obviously that doesn't work late game, but early game, your opponent doesn't really have anything to deal with it. So you want to just get them there as fast as you can, right? And then keep the stream coming, rather than sort of bunching up and then coming out together. And this could actually work out nicely for Cowofschmau, but it could also work out terribly. He's going to see these AAVs and be like, oh no. But he's got railgun fabrication, so what he needs to do is just cancel whatever Sandskimmers he's got on the queue and then start making rails. And heavy rails I'm not sure about, but it could work. Usually we go for assaults in this case. Then again, in the mod, you know, assault railgun's a little bit harder to use because they don't have such insane armor, and the AAV does more damage too. So it's better against armor. There's a lot of power in this carrier. He definitely needs to power that up like right now. Just like into these 3 spots, that's a really good place to have the power. Really bad place to have the power is nowhere. That's a bad place to have it. Tuned to weapons, that'll do. You probably want to rotate your carrier facing the enemy in that case, but... yeah, because you see where the missile launcher is, right? He doesn't have range on the AAVs from here, so The PD is actually fairly effective, but you can see a lot of salvagers are going to die here. Meanwhile, it'd be good to attack as well, but it's always tricky if your attack is based on strikecraft, because like they will die, and these guys just won't die. Like they take so long. And Frosty, by the way, you probably want to smoke this spot right here, actually on the back, because oh, you have Pirates Reborn. You should probably use it because that's where the missile's going to come from. It's right there. If it comes at all. I mean, maybe it just won't. But is Frosty just like attacking his opponent's carrier? By the way, it's so funny. I mean, AAVs can kill a carrier. It just takes, you know, 20 minutes. Meanwhile, Cow is up in the base, but this is what I was saying. Even with only power 1 and the weapons there, these Sandscreamers are just kind of getting hosed, you know what I mean? And so they will die a lot faster than those AAVs. So the economic damage on one side is way bigger than on the other. And now I'm thinking Frosty was actually kind of rewarded for his kind of questionable play of keeping the AAVs together and then backing out at the same time. Because his opponent didn't see it coming, so he's just not ready for it at all. Obviously, he's got the railguns, he's kind of stabilized now, but Frosty is more than stable. And if it's a support cruiser coming out, which it is, I mean, his eco is just going to be superb. This is going to be a really hard fight now for Cowofschmau if he wants to get back into this one. And Frosty actually getting armor too on those AAVs, I like that a lot, because most of the damage was coming from the carrier right there. That's good. Fighter and gunship coming out, I like that too. Might have some trouble if the PC's like pushed up, but I mean, look at Cowofschmau's position. Like, does it look like he's ready to push up with production cruisers to his opponent? Like, not really. So these are probably going to stay back at home, and Fighter and Gunship going to be really good at neutralizing the counterattack that could come out from these railguns here. Although I should also point out, look how much time Frosty has bought just for like this AAV and those two over there, keeping them kind of split up. It's like that counterattack really just can't happen, because Cowofschmau just has to sit back at the base trying to clear this out. So definitely the right play with these AAVs here. Frosty probably about now wants to try to stop this base runner from extracting anymore. This is getting a little bit hairy, right? Because he's up at like 2 already. But yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be too hard either. He's got a couple LAVs, yeah, just like send the LAVs out there, especially because it's railguns that are out. And until the assault railguns pop, you don't need to worry about these at all. And then, you know, you have the Fighter and Gunship hopefully. Excellent smoke there too, just gonna buy even a little bit more time. Just be as annoying as possible with that AAV. Now the railgun's finally able to move out across the map if they want to, but look, there's already LAVs. Fighter and Gunship is finished and they're on the way. Really good plays here by FrostyTeeth, I'm quite enjoying that. Yeah, see, I wish he was a little bit more focused on the base runner, but this is good though, that he's finally here to like to kind of take him out. But I think this is going to be an extraction for sure. One thing he can do is like sit up here on the high ground, right, and see if maybe you can stop him like that. So, yeah, no, it looks like that is going to extract. Brings the scoreline to 3-0, a little bit much, I would say, for someone who's definitely got the map control at this point, but he should be able to stop it here. He just needs to be careful though, you know, you never know what's going to happen later on. I like that base runner heal there, getting popped just to like buy a little bit more time. Kind of the same thing Frosty was doing earlier, but sort of backwards. Strike fighters coming in here now. They definitely don't want to fight the PCs, right? If you can stay away from them, that'd be good. Like this guy here is already dead. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's probably okay. I mean, he's only lost 1 so far, but you do need to be really careful about these production cruisers because their AA is really quite good. When you got 2 of them together like that, they can really kill off strike fighters, interceptors, what have you. Oh, get out of there, get out of there. A warrior is fallen. Missile ship's coming out of Cowofschmau, naturally. He sees the air tech. Carrier's a little far away from the base there. It's a little unfortunate. Another support cruiser's out from Frosty. Going to be setting up a 3rd base now. That's what I want to see. If you're ahead, get further ahead, huh? That's pretty good doctrine. And these production crews are still kind of sticking together. I think they're trying to be sort of like an anti-air squad for now. BC... oh, nice. Anyway, but yeah, it looks like quite a couple of Sandscreamers coming out here now, so Frosty probably wanted to look into some better, you know, anti-strike craft tech here. Well, now that I say it, he's already got AAVs, doesn't he? Yeah, I mean, probably a mix of like AAV, LAV is going to be enough here. Well, then your opponent has so much more range than you. Maybe it makes sense for him just to go into railguns, honestly. Because you know your eco is so much higher, you can outrail your opponents than if you just have some AAVs to counter Strikecraft, you're fine. But no, it's going to be battlecruisers, which is pretty spicy. I'm enjoying that, so I'm okay with it. That's kind of one of those units that I feel doesn't get enough love, you know what I mean? So I always like seeing it come out onto the field. And what a decisive way to finish off a game like this too, you know, like, you know, I could just get battlecruisers now. I mean, it's like the classic move, kind of, because they're really, you know, game-ending units if you use them properly. Carrier moving out here, I think, to try to stop that AAV. Refiner mode is finished now, so that's why he can do that. Yeah, a little bit of harassment being done by these strike fighters, but it shouldn't really be too much. Like, the railguns are all dead, oh, except that one, I guess, but that was sort of like what these strike fighters were meant to do. Anything else they get is really kind of extra. There was no railgun counterattack, mind you, but if there had been, especially because like 3 artifacts got extracted, so this carrier's got quite a bit of power, actually. You never know if your opponent's going to try something gutsy, like, you know, come out across the middle with some railguns and see if he can kill you off, but the strike fighters definitely would have shut that down, so they were a good choice. Power reserves coming in now for Frosty as well. I wonder how many battlecruisers he's making. He's got 2 production slots, so. Then railgun fab coming out from him, as well as carrier power reserves. I mean, we usually know what that means, but I imagine he's not going to need it, you know. Those battlecruisers should do the job on their own. I love, you know, keeping the 1 AAV at each expansion there. That's really nice. Keeping this guy here ready to backstab too, I like that. Even though he's like being spotted, you know what I mean? Like, Frosty didn't know that necessarily. And it's a good position for a unit to be in. But see here, the smoke comes out immediately, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's just like exactly how you want to hold your bases as Coalition, you know? Just keeping it safe. Sand skimmers there, completely repelled, and if they try to go into the main to see what they can do there, they're going to be similarly repelled. Only thing that the Sand Skimmer could do, really, that would help Cowofschmau a lot is scout those battlecruisers, and I think he's going to. I mean, he's like right there. Oh my gosh. Nah, maybe not. That's funny. Oh. 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 Yeah, see, if I'm Frosty, I think I actually hold the battlecruisers back for just a second so that you can, like, not let them be seen until they're right there. I don't think Cow actually saw them, but it was kind of lucky, you know? Because if he sees the battlecruisers when they're there, it's like, okay, game over, you know what I mean? Like, you can just stop playing now. If he sees them while they're here, probably still game over, but I mean, he's got a bit more time to react at least, right? There's like 1 heavy railgun out right now. 2 more on the way, to be fair, but that's just not enough. And if I were Frosty, I actually wouldn't send this guy around the back. I'd just send him straight through. But he's probably trying to do kind of like the collapsing style. And you can see it's sort of coming together, like he's streaming in from every side, just a little bit slower over here, because it is a long way to go. Battlecruiser pops, and the AAV threw a pretty good smoke to cover his approach. And there he is, you know, just like slamming railguns into the dust. I mean, you can see like why battlecruisers can be good units, is because their damage output is just unreal. But they're very slow, they're very big, so railguns, you know, have kind of a field day against them. Good smoke there, though. Gonna keep that guy alive for a little bit longer, and this is definitely gonna be a dead production cruiser at least. Yeah, I mean, I still think, you know, both battlecruisers being up here, you would have been able to chase down the railguns a little better, push them away from the second base too, and then like, what's your opponent gonna do from there? He's actually, you know, prioritizing the salvagers here, which is kind of interesting. I would just go for the production cruiser at this point, to be honest. Oh, look at that smoke. That's actually not as good as I thought, because this guy wasn't targeting the production cruiser. But if he had been, alright, that smoke would have been perfect. Because, like, the PC gets killed, and then immediately smoke drops, and the railguns can't shoot at the battle cruisers anymore. And that's cool, right? This guy actually should pop the beehive again and head out there. Yeah, I know it's smoke, but it looks like a beehive to me. Then again, I am from Utah, so It's like the state flag. It's got this beehive on it, so that's exactly what it looks like. Mag Accelerator coming out from FrostyTeeth, as well as the Soul Cruiser fabrication. I would just get Power Reserves if I were him, but you know, you can tell this game, it's nearing its conclusion, and I felt like it was kind of headed this way for a while now, but I got to see Battle Cruisers, so it was worth it. That Battle Cruiser has so much health, do you see that? Oh my gosh. LAV's trying to molest the railguns a bit too, but that's kind of backfired. But yeah, it's just the carrier left now. Well, he's got some long distance miners. Getting a base runner, actually, I like that a lot because, I mean, you know, kind of cheeky win potentials here with artifact extractions, but I don't see it anytime soon. Forces from FrostyTeeth just totally suiciding on this carrier, by the way. This is really what's going to finish it off, is these two battle cruisers here. Kind of annoying thing about the smoke with the battle cruisers is that it always stops them whenever they use the ability. Like, they pop the smoke and then they stop. And so, you know, you have to, like, kind of micro a bit. Because in this scenario, this is a place where smoke would be really good. Like, drive up and, like, smoke and then move, smoke and then move. Yeah, but you can't just, like, smoke them and expect them to go where you want them to. Sure. Well, Cowofschmau's carrier is actually fairly beefy. And you can see where he's headed here. It's not gonna work up. Oh, whoa, voice crack. It's not gonna work obviously because like there's all these railguns here. The battle cruisers will catch up by the time any meaningful damage is really done, and Frosty can just tech the Power Reserves too. That's what he's doing. In fact, it's Power Reserve 2, mind you. Gunship even trying to get involved. Not like that's gonna do too much, but you know, every effort counts. Every effort counts. Approaching is a relative term. I mean, you're driving up to them, but you know. Speed Racer carrier coming in here. But it is going to be Suicide. I think we can all see that. Battle Cruiser even got some high, well, it's got some vision blockers. That's what it's really got. And down goes Cowofschmau. Gonna be maybe 2-0, maybe 1-0, maybe 1-1, that is. I guess we'll see. There is another replay. Okay, so it's not gonna be 2-0. Apparently Cowofschmau won the last game. See, that's the thing, I couldn't really know. It's really a pity because I wanted to see how Dune Ocean plays out, but yeah, for some reason that replay just bugged out or something, won't work. That's gonna be Tight End Passage. Oh, everyone's favorite map. Whose pick was this? This is Cowofschmau's pick. It's a very narrow map, right? Same with Dune Ocean, actually. I know you didn't get to see it, but Dune Ocean is kind of like Tight End Passage, but even longer. Maybe... I don't know. We'll have to see what Cowofschmau's going for in this game. Rush distance is a lot longer, though. Like, because the map is so long, right? Like, rushing your opponent takes a really long time here. And DOK maps in general don't really have a huge variance in, like, distances, but... You know, it's got some anyway. Whoa, spoiler alert. Anyway. That is so cool, though, like that little piece of scenery. I really like it. If the crater itself wasn't so huge, whoa, what? Did you see that? Can I make it happen again? Nah, probably not. Anyway, if the crater itself wasn't so huge, I imagine you could make a really cool 1v1 map where, like, one person spawns there, one person spawns there. But, like, as a 3v3 map, that feels way too big, you know, so... Would not be a big fan, probably. Or you could do a sort of interesting thing where, like, you just open up this part, so, like, the map is still bounded there, and then you have, like, this low ground, like, passage to fight in, but... I mean, would you ever even go there? It seems like kind of just a death trap. Dunes are really wonky down in the crater, by the way, so they would make gameplay really interesting. I can't wait for the day when someone finally figures out how to make custom maps, like, from scratch, you know? Because that would be so cool. Anyway, FrostyTeeth going for Sport Cruiser first. Like I usually say, this is a pretty safe opener. Power Reserve 1 even was on the queue briefly, but he didn't see anyone, so he cancelled and went to AV Fabrication. That's kind of an interesting way to go. I mean, like, I wouldn't want him to get Power Reserve 1 right now, but if he was attacked, it would already be on the way, right? Like, maybe that actually makes sense. I don't know. Kind of a cool idea. But it's going to be a couple Sand Skimmers just from one PC here from Cowofschmau. Frosty, not going to be too worried about this. But Cow going to get some good scouting info right here. And I wonder if he's going to go for a tech. He's got the money for Railgun Fabrication. No, he's going to get Fleet Cab out, so he's probably going to fall back with this production cruiser right here, but I guess it's hard to say. Sandskimmer's actually doing a pretty good job of pulling the carrier around. So now that he's off of that location, if there was, you know, like something... Like, if you tech up to assault ships or something like that, and then they come in right here where the carrier's gone, excellent, you know what I mean? But actually, a surprising amount of damage being done to the support cruiser right here. It looks like the Sandskimmer's mostly going to get away, probably like 2 of them die. Or 1 maybe. None, maybe. That's fine. Although the LAVs, I'm sure, can pick them off if they focus fire properly. It doesn't look like they will. These Sandskimmers, though, taking the fight underneath the carrier, that's really kind of unwise. Yeah, and they're going to pay for it. PD as well, a little bit stronger in the mod than it was in vanilla. But yeah, not terribly good focus fire coming out there from FrostyTeeth. And base runner inventory pops, what in the heck? So, I guess he wants to make a base runner. But that's a very non-meta tech to be getting. I like it. But, you know, I have to see, like, what I can actually do. So yeah, it is going to be Railgun Fabrication for Cowofschmau, but he is falling back that production cruiser. So I would probably get Refiner Mode first, but then again, you already see an AAV out on the field. Maybe it's not very safe, but the thing is, having the forward position with the Sandskimmers allows you to do kind of funny stuff where you, like, pull around, like, keep poking, even though every time you poke in, you lose maybe 1 or 2 guys. And you slow down that AAV so much because he does really, you know, he legitimately has to stay back and defend. So you're able to get Refiner Mode first and then go for Railgun Fabrication, and then you have kind of an eco advantage over your opponent. This guy just like, please, get away. Gonna want to pull back that Sandskimmer though as Cowofschmau. It's just gonna die, it looks like. Extraction comes out, scoreline is now 1-0. Refiner Mode is on the way, but I do hope Cow is making a railgun sometime soon. He's got the money for it. It's gonna be a heavy, yeah, so he's going for heavies generally this game. I feel like assault railguns are not as well used by like the mid-tier players as they should be. Because they make a lot of sense, you know what I mean? Oh, but he definitely wants to back away. So if your heavy railgun pops out and he's on top of this AAV, you're going to have a bad time. Because the thing is, assault railguns actually have the same damage output as heavy railguns, except against armor, right? But they fire like 4 shots that do 50, and you see this guy fires 1 shot that does 195, right? So when you're against like units like this, the damage output can be seen as pretty much being the same. Frosty could really, you know, attack the heavy railguns maybe, but that's okay. So you get like a much faster platform and a platform with more armor when you go for assault railguns. The only thing you're losing is range, right? That's not really so, you know, impactful when your opponent's actually on top of you. So the assault railgun lasts a lot longer. It just makes more sense generally against armored units like that. And then you add in, you know, like the accuracy against Strikecraft. You can really see why people would use these things, but. Excuse me. Anyway, my point is, I think it was kind of a little risky for Cowofschmau to get the heavy railguns right there instead of the assault railguns. But if he's going to go for like railgun Sandskimmer, maybe it actually is nice for him to have heavies right here. But if you saw the finals with A-Game and Discara, you can see like what, you know, assault railguns can do even down into the late game. Scoreline going to be brought to 2-0, by the way, and these Sandskimmers I think wanted to do a bit of raiding, but they saw this AAV, chose to back away. I think they probably should have just fought the base runner instead. This is almost certainly going to be an extraction now, although it'll be a little bit closer than it looks, because the railguns can hit on this guy too, but... Yeah, but he is going to extract, so that brings the scoreline to 2-1. And Fighter and Gunship coming in from FrostyTeeth, just like last time. Assault Ship Fabrication now from Cowofschmau. So that's interesting, we don't usually see that, but I really like this build, you know, where you go like wider rather than taller. So rather than getting like a tier 3 unit, you just go for like a Assault Ship Railgun. It's pretty hard to beat. had this awesome game with Discar one time. It was actually on this map too, where I think I built like every unit in the game or something like that. You know, which does not happen very often in DOK. And I won too. It was fun. Frosty triple producing these strike fighters, I think. Looks like he went for railgun fabrication just to get that production boost. Yeah, so I'd like to see him just get a couple more strike fighters and then launch out there. See what he can do. LAVs for Frosty have been in pretty good places so far. I feel like the music has stopped. Yeah, I must have hit plus on accident. Did you know that? Like, if you're watching a replay and the music just randomly stops, like, probably you accidentally hit the plus button, which turns the music on and off. And, you know, it happens when you're hitting delete, right, to reset the camera. That's okay, but you should probably kill this guy. Look, alright, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, strike fighters just doing what they do. That air transition can always be pretty nasty for us Galzian folk. Really just for us railgun folk, I guess, is a bit more accurate. Okay, he does kill it. But yeah, like 3 heavy railguns go down there, quite expensive. Interceptor fabrication going to come out now for Cowofschmau, and that's kind of an advantage you get if you go for this kind of like wider tech trees. You can also get those interceptors rather than getting missile ships, if you choose to do so. Probably going to be a good choice for Cowofschmau if he's able to use them well. Because like if you just want them to counter air, they don't really like they're good at that, right? But it's much better if you can also use them now to counter your opponent's like other stuff on the ground, like their railguns and whatever. And you can see Frosty actually is making some railguns now, but he doesn't really have any just yet. So I don't know. I don't know how well the interceptors will work out, but. But at any rate, it is going to be a bit of a surprise for Frosty. Unless actually, you know, he probably has seen this module here, because Frosty actually has this document, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like, what module raises up whenever someone gets text. You can actually like see those things, which is pretty cool. You should check that out if you haven't sometime. Maybe I'll put the link in the description if I'm not, you know, super lazy. Cow actually gonna pull his carrier back here. I think maybe he can do some damage if he pushes out there. He's got the backline production, which in this case is actually pretty convenient. So I'd like to see Cowofschmau just like run in there and be like, yo, I'm going for it. See what he can get done there. Air units are out, so you should definitely launch yours now. Because this is like a really good opportunity to kill off your opponent. Yeah, there you go. And then Sandstormer's actually coming in the backline, so maybe this is going to work for him. He's got quite a lot of power in that carrier. Not really powered up all the way. And yeah, okay, so here go the railguns, or the air units, they're all gone. Oh, that guy docked? You're kidding me. But yeah, now you really want to hit those railguns. You need to be careful about like the LAV's base runner combo. That can actually do a lot of damage to these interceptors too. But I mean, look at this. I think he's probably going to snipe a support cruiser at this point. There's not really much Frosty can do about that. Oh, careful. Careful, Harpy. Yeah, he's going to be okay. But even with the backline production here, he's not really made anything to stop this AV push right here. Even though he's definitely got money for it, so that's going to be not as bad as what he did to his opponent, but yeah, he's definitely going to lose some salvagers over there. Oh, now he goes for missile ship fabrication. He's caved. What a shame. Actually, it's a gunship coming up from Frosty. That's interesting. But yeah, I don't know, I really feel like that should have turned out better for him. Like, if his carrier just ran up here into the backline, he could really have killed a lot of the eco from FrostyTeeth. He did get one support cruiser, right, which is nice. But I don't know, I feel like things should look a lot worse on this side than they do right now. Although that being said, for some reason, these LEDs are doing way more damage than they should be. Yeah, okay, there's the assault unit. I was gonna say, like, he has this tech, like, why doesn't he just build one of these? But it's kind of too late now, like, the whole army is here. And I'm not sure why that took so long for him to stop. The gunship gets shot down almost immediately like they do. You know, he tried. He contributed, probably. Another extraction comes out for Frosty. But yeah, this army's in a really good position now, so Eco gonna be killed off pretty succinctly for Cowofschmau here now. There's only like 2 salvagers left over here. He's like building all of them back from the carrier. So it looks like he's come out underneath from here. A little bit of chaos going on there, but definitely did not go Frosty's or Cowofschmau's way. I wonder if Frosty's gonna kill this production cruiser, right? Yeah, okay. That was a little closer than I thought it would be, but yeah, at this point Frosty's very far ahead. Assault cruiser fabrication coming out now. That could be actually a good unit to just kind of finish off the game here, but I think really he wins easier if he just kind of goes for a bunch of railguns. And you know what else I would like to see is just missile batteries, just kind of, you know, cleared out all that air. And then, you know, yeah, just push out with a bunch of railguns. Power reserves, not a big fan, because obviously you can win the game this way too, but it's going to take so long. I like the anti-air turret post getting set up there, by the way. That's going to be pretty annoying for Cowofschmau to deal with. Actually, wow, a lot of veterancy on these interceptors here. Veterancy doesn't tend to matter too much in DOK, but like it's fun to see that units actually are getting them. The thing about anti-air turret posts is that they have like no vision at all for some reason. So like you have to have your units kind of like spotting for them to actually be able to shoot at anything. Also, look how slow that missile is. Anyway, Interceptor's taking a pretty bad fight here. I guess they're trying to stop the extraction, but they're really getting chewed up here. Like, this guy's gonna pass over the missile battery again, which is, you know, that's death. Only one of them gonna survive that, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, the real reason I'm saying Frosty should spam rails here, rather than doing what he is that his production advantage is huge right now. His opponent only has 1 production cruiser. Like, he's rebuilding one right now, yeah, but that's gonna take a while. Oh look, missile battery fabrication. That's good. That's what I said he should make. But, you know, your opponent just has like no production on the field right now. So if you just spam railguns, there's no way he can match you. And then, you know, you really neutralize the threat of this carrier a lot easier than if you're doing like small numbers of units and trying to tech up your carrier and whatever. Like that's actually a field you don't really have an advantage in, you know what I mean? Attack missiles get launched by this assault cruiser. I like it. She can just back down the field, back down the hill now, and he's not really gonna take much damage. Which is nice. Let's see, what time is it right now? 2:30. Yeah, so like Frosty's carrier trying to take this fight here right now, it would actually lose it, wouldn't it? Like, I don't know. Like, most of the damage on Cow's carrier here came from that assault cruiser, which, to be fair, he's ready to launch again, so, I mean, maybe he would win this, but, like, this is just unnecessarily risky. Like, Frosty really just needs to back away here. You know, you've got so much more production than your opponent. Just use that. Like, don't risk, you know, throwing here. Because that would be a really sad way to lose a game that you definitely have won, you know what I mean? Missile battery gonna shut down that interceptor pretty fast, which is nice. Probably ought to use those tac missiles again. I guess he doesn't have the CUs for it, does he? Okay, there they go. Now, a lot of damage output going to come out there again. I guess it's actually a bit of a miss, but still, you can see they do quite a bit. I'm wondering, like, Frosty doesn't seem to have much money. I wonder why that is. Oh, yeah, because power reserves, I guess. Oh, no, you know what? I'm looking at his opponent's money, aren't I? Okay, yeah, he's got a bit of money. Never mind, never mind. I was going to say, like, he's on 3 base. He should have a lot more than that, I feel. But yeah, I mean, this game would already be over if you just kind of spammed railguns rather than getting that carrier power up. 4th extraction going to go down here pretty soon, though, so Frosty's carrier is going to become, you know, powerful enough to fight like that, but... In fact, he's going to get 5 power from, like, the combined artifact and the power reserve, which is going to allow him to self-repair, which is kind of nice. You know, a use for the carrier you don't often see is that he could power up everything into the range and then just like sit on kind of this dune right here and then like give vision to his army. That's kind of a fun idea. Kind of over-investing in anti-air right there, I feel, but that's okay. Another anti-air turret post, of course, going down. Frosty backing up with his carrier now, actually. You know, this is kind of the one time I think he should move it in. Put the power of 5 into armor and then, like, run down toward the extraction zone, because you can win that way really easily now. Attack missile's gonna get used on the railguns there, which I like, actually. Although, the Assault Cruiser moves before he can finish the shot, so he kind of wastes it a little bit, which is, you know, unfortunate, but it won't make too much of a difference since railguns do go down in the end. Now Frosty really just has to make this push and he'll be winning the game. This Space Runner actually super low, I didn't realize that before. Skip douche. That ought to be a game. It looks like Frosty is going to be our semi-finalist. Kind of like the upper bracket, there was only one quarterfinal played here in the lower bracket because of reasons. So, unfortunately, this is all we get from the quarterfinals. But Frosty is going to secure that spot, which you really want, which is to be the semi-finalist. It means that, of course, you know, you don't have to. You know, you don't have to worry about getting seeded into the same group as another semi-finalist from your lower bracket here, so generally you should have an easier time in the next tournament. That is going to be the game. Kind of looks like Frosty's exploding there, but trust me, he's fine. And we will return to account for our failure, I guess. Sorry, lady. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one.